It's no doubt that fathers make a big difference in the life of a child. Fatherless children are more likely to struggle in life due to his absence.
Yeah, attorneys Jeffrey Leving and Jeffrey Poshton want to help. They fight for dads wanting a relationship with their kids. They join us now to share about the work that they do. Thank you to both of you, Jeffries, for being with us today. Okay, I'm going to start with you, Jeffrey Poshton.
Yes.
Tell me about the big win you just had in court.
Well, in this case, the dad and the mom were not married. They had a 5-year-old girl, and tragically, the mother died. Despite the rocky relationship that the parents had, Dad was very involved in his daughter's life, but he found himself cut out of her life right after her mother died because one of the mom's relatives went into court and got a guardianship and didn't even give him notice. He had no idea that it was going on. He came to us understandably distraught because he couldn't believe that this had happened. And we went into court and, argued that, the father, he has superior rights to anybody else that was there. And the judge agreed with us, and, this dad now has custody of his little girl, and his relationship with her has been preserved.
Right, and that'll grow just for years to
Yeah.
come. Jeffrey Leving, talk about the impact that a father can have in his child's life.
A father could have a tremendous impact, positive impact, in the lives of their children. The first book I ever wrote many years ago, Father's Rights, I talk about this, and actually on pages 46 and 47, I talk about the negative impact of father absence. I also talk about the positive, which is the exact opposite. But for instance, fatherless children are more likely to end up with academic problems. The most reliable predictor of crime in America is father absence. And the risk of child abuse, especially to a little girl, increases substantially without her dad there to safeguard and protect her. And there's a lot more than just that, but that's just some basic information. I mean, fathers are really critical. Good fathers are really critical in the lives of their children.
And this is relating to a societal perception too. Like, I mean, Mr. Poshton, what can society do to help encourage fathers being involved?
Well, fathers need to be aware of their rights, and so this shouldn't be a luxury. It needs to be available to all fathers.
And I love that Parental Alienation Awareness Day is coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about this day?
Parental alienation is horrific, and Parental Alienation Awareness Day is important to bring awareness to the horrific effects of parental alienation. Parental alienation, for example, is when one parent will badmouth the other parent to the children. I'll give you an example. We worked on one case where the mother badmouthed the father to the children and then actually set him up. He comes home after work one day and she attacks him, creates a fight with him, but he didn't even hit her, and then she self-inflicts injuries on herself, calls the police, has him arrested, and he gets locked up. Now, if we didn't win that trial, thank God we won that trial, but if we didn't, that father would have likely lost his children, he would have lost his liberty, it would have been a disaster. And he was a friend of mine, and actually, he was a lawyer, and I think that case had such a negative effect on him. He doesn't even, last I heard, he doesn't even practice law anymore because he was so upset by the fact that he was arrested, falsely charged, locked up. He didn't commit a crime. I mean, thank God we won the trial. There are a lot of fathers in that situation who probably wouldn't have counsel or would have had ineffective assistance of counsel and could have lost. But it's a very sad story, but it did have a happy ending because now he ended up with a relationship with his children, and he didn't end up spending time in jail, except for the arrest. When he was arrested, he did spend a little time in jail, but he did get out on bond.
We're so happy you both are here.
I know. Thank goodness you were there for him, too. I'm sure one of many victories that really stands out for the both of you. Thank you so much. For more information, you can call the number on your screen or go to dadsrights.com. You can also check out Dad's Rights on social media. Thank you both.